the shore keep a whispering lore of the captains who never came home. And the gulls overhead cry of treasure and dread, where the reefs hide a kingdom of bone. But the breeze tastes the spice and the gamble feels right when your heart's set on freedom's bite. Raise a toast, stake your claim, let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. I sail from a cove where the warm trade winds blow and the silver blue dolphins glide, where the rum's always strong and the nights run long and the tide is a thief at your side. When the moon's riding high and the lanterns are low and the waves start to shimmer bright, come aboard, cast away, let the sea have its say on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights, like Caribbean days, more often than not, they're wilder than not, in the boldest of ways. Caribbean nights, neath Caribbean stars. Oh, rogue with a grin, could win or give in, out there past the bars. The shore keep a whispering lore of the captains who never came home. And the gulls overhead cry of treasure and dread, where the reefs hide a kingdom of bone. But the breeze tastes the spice and the gamble feels right when your heart's set on freedom's bite. Raise a toast, stake your claim, let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights. Caribbean nights.
When I started this project, I didn't realize how much of an undertaking it would really be. It's been a learning process, to say the least, but we're almost ready for launch. My team and I wanted to make sure that all of our ducks were in a row before we really got started. All of that said, the Discord is officially live, and I will begin sending out invites via the GoFundMe page messaging system. If you're one of the amazing people who donated to the pre-launch GoFundMe campaign, which is still up, by the way, you'll get a private message from me over the course of the next few days. The GoFundMe is still accepting contributions. Meanwhile, our art director Thatch and I are finalizing the layout of the Kickstarter page, reward tiers, and stretch goals so we can finish what's needed to launch the official Kickstarter. And remember, if you donate to the GoFundMe page, you get your name on a special thank you page in the book, as well as access to the Discord to help us build it. Thank you all very much for your donations, encouragement, and kind words. We're gonna make something awesome.
And there is exactly 2 months and 2 days until the Norseforged Gathering 6, May 22nd through the 24th, 2026 in New London, North Carolina. There will be games, there will be questing, there will be mead drinking, there will be Ali the Piper is performing. So much. There's so much that's going on at the Norseforged Gathering, and it's more than just what's going on here. The pirate encampment has a skit. We have a skit, yes we do. and we are working through it. With that being said, we have somebody who would like to show her face and say hello to everybody. With that,
Hello. Hello. It's the pirate wife.
don't grab my arm. All right,
I just
go.
thought I'd say hello.
All right,
Mwah.
all right, go. Go. Yes, all hail the Bard, Father Kirk. Welcome back, everybody. We are back, and I thank everybody for everybody's patience. And why is this? See, I'm not even adjusted correctly. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. There you see my face. All right, so apologize for everybody, or to everybody. I know it's been quite a few weeks since we last saw each other. And with that, I deeply apologize because you guys have been missing out on the happenings of Rogue Bard Advice. And that is what we are. We are Rogue Bard Advice. We are a D&D TTRPG role-playing archaeology sports sometimes when there's sports stuff going on, but mostly we're a nerdcast. All hail the misaimed pirate cam. Yes, like I said, I had to set up the, like I said in the Discord, I had to set up the pirate ship here in the original pirate room. It has been a while, but I didn't need to break Crimson as much as it was I was moving from one apartment to another, and things, when I moved into the new apartment 3 weeks ago, I didn't set up anything because I knew I was only going to be there for 3 weeks. The less I had to unpack, the less I had to pack when I left. And it was a 14.5-hour trip yesterday. Drove all the way from Tallahassee, Florida to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for 1 day. 14.5 hours straight through. Yeah, upgrades to the pirate ship. Yes, dear, we got upgrades to the pirate ship. I went out today and I got two 27-inch curved monitors to help with everything. So now I'm not just have a 34-inch monitor and a 24-inch monitor, or a 24-inch monitor. I have 34-inch monitor and two 27-inch monitors. It makes everything. I don't have to do this. I don't have to turn like Nick Fury. Yes, takes a while to sail a wooden ship that far. Yes, but the enduring endeavor right now is not a wooden ship. It's a metal ship. It's a metal ship on wheels. Yeah, it was a long trip, but I'm used to doing long trips like that, Crimson. Hi, Teeny! We're back! And we have... I appreciate you guys. I wanna say this right now. I appreciate you guys, every single one of you who sent me questions over the last couple weeks. I greatly appreciate it because now we have a large lot of content. And I'm not using every question tonight. We're only got 5 questions tonight. 5 questions tonight. Yes, like, subscribe, share this podcast out. Thank you, Kirk. If you're not already joined the Discord, join the Discord. But I'm pretty sure everybody here has already joined the Discord. If anybody could reach out, we still have 2 who are not in the chat tonight, and that is Ron and Ruby. Has anybody heard from Ron and Ruby lately? I haven't seen them in the Discord. I don't know that they are in the Discord. I think they are. They should be. But we haven't heard from Ron and Ruby lately, and I do hope that Ron and Ruby are doing okay. I do have an update from the Bard Father. If you guys want to hear the update from the Bard Father. The Bard Father states, Hi everyone. First of all, sorry things have been so quiet here. I have been dealing with some real life stuff for a while, but I'm doing my best to lock back in. And this is in response to the Florida Man RPG. Thatch and I have been doing a lot of artwork and writing and finalizing for the Kickstarter. We're very close, just doing the finishing touches, and then it takes Kickstarter about 2 weeks to review the project. Once the project is actually up and available, he will be engaging a lot more with the channel. He's got his own Discord channel for the Florida Man RPG, and try to get some polls and stuff up so we can start building this thing out properly. Thatch and himself are going to discuss what things they want to share here as far as art and info that are finished, and are going to start sharing more of that soon. He wants to thank everyone for our amazing patience and our support through donations. It may be taking a little longer than he wanted, but he is confident that it's going to be worth it, and they're going to make something awesome as a community. And that's everybody. We're all going to make something awesome as a community with the Florida Man RPG. With that is the update from the Bard Father. Real life. He had to move, Kirk. He moved from his house into his father-in-law's house, ranch. Well, not ranch, but farm, mini farm, something. I don't know. You live in a mental bubble. Well, you are a mental bubble. And Kirk, you will be happy to know that anytime I share a question that you have submitted, everybody who I share that question to knows exactly who sent it, and I don't have to say nothing. With that being said, let's go to questions, because we have a jam-packed night tonight. Before we get to questions, shout out to Puffy Cheeto. Because if it wasn't for Puffy Cheeto, I would have never known something happened. I did know that he was in the hospital, but I did not know that he passed away. Yesterday, we lost Chuck Norris. And I know that's going to hit everybody pretty hard. But you know what? As a individual in the Discord said, let me pull up the Discord. Let me quote this correctly. And Retriever of Gold, I think, is the one who said it. And that would be hold on, I was scrolling earlier. Now I got to get back down to jump to present. Let's jump to present. That would be Chuck Norris doesn't die. He just asked God for his job back. And then Kirk, this is the one I really like. Heaven finally has a chance of being allowed to enter the gates of Chuck Norris. Absolutely. Absolutely. With that being said, normally Chuck would roundhouse kick death away, but he took pity on death this time. Yeah. Hospital yesterday, passing today, literally shed tears. He was in Kauai, Hawaii, training for a martial arts competition at 86 years old. 86 years old. But I did see somebody created a video today, probably an AI created video today, of Chuck meeting up in heaven with his very good best friend, Bruce Lee. So with that, our hat goes off to Chuck. And what a wonderful ride, sir. What a wonderful ride. With that being said, our first question of the evening is the following. Have I ever been part of an effort to recreate past ancient achievements? I'm thinking of things like people using ropes to move Easter Island statues, or to lift Stonehenge like stones, or build a pyramid. Those are big things, but could be smaller, like how to forge a knife from ore, or build a kiln for glazing pottery from raw materials. If you guys haven't guessed already, this is from our good friend Kirk. Thank you for the question, Kirk. And I want to go back to here. The Norseforged Gathering 6. It's a gathering of Norse Viking cosplayers and people who like to live the life. People who forge knives and swords out of iron, scrap iron. No, they don't forge it out of raw ore, but they do everything kind of the way it was done. Only they use some semblance of modern equipment, but they do. Nerd gathering, teeny nerd gathering, yep. But as for building a pyramid or moving Stonehenge style blocks, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you come to the Norseforged Gathering, you could learn how to forge your own knife and weaponry, Puffy Cheeto. Kirk is the best mini painter around. Only when his minis don't stay in gray shame forever. On top of that, Puffy Cheeto, you could learn how to forge your own armor. That we have armor smiths at the Norseforged Gathering too. And you could learn how to become a shield wall. It's not deleting your posts. It shouldn't be deleting your post. Is there any metal casting there or just forging? Unfortunately, I think it's just forging. Casting would take quite a bit, and this is on a Boy Scout camp. So, and it's in a protected national forest, so if something got away and started a fire, it's bad. So, it's too far for you to travel. You could take a flight. You only travel one state over if you must cross the border. Well, you don't come up north, so I'm only one state away. But anyway, with that being said, that is the answer that I got for you, Kirk. Thank you for the question. While I haven't done any knife forging or weaponry forging or anything of that nature, I do want to. But you're on a boat now, Puffy Cheeto. It's the pirate ship. But yeah, no, I understand. I understand, Cheeto. Maybe one of these days we'll start something a little closer and have the ability to have people come from all over. But unfortunately, that's not on the table right now. With that being said, thank you for the question, Kirk. Great question. I hope you got an answer out of it. Come to the Norseforged Gathering. You'll learn how to do all that stuff. Question 2. And yeah, I'm going through this pretty quick because we have a massive Deadly Dungeon tonight. We have 12 participants in the Deadly Dungeon tonight because we have to go through who all we missed for the past couple weeks. But question 2 comes from Puffy Cheeto. If my character had to join the cast of any TV show and be part of that show's adventure or antics, what show would you choose? And how would you interact with the other characters? I wasn't going to do this question tonight, Cheeto. But then I remembered something very, very great. very, very interesting that happened last Saturday. An announcement was made. And for those of you who are in the know, Jim, welcome in. But for all of you who are in the know and who follow a certain podcast, not my podcast, but a different certain podcast called Once We Were Spacemen, a group of individuals have gotten together and over the last couple weeks were posting teaser videos, getting the entire band back together. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what better way to answer this question than as a space pirate joining the cast of Firefly? Now, it's not a live action show. The only way they can do it, they got Joss Whedon's approval. They got Disney Fox's approval. They've got producers. They've got showrunners. They just don't have a home yet. And it is animated. Yes, it is, Kevin. It is animated. But that's the only way it works with everybody's schedules. Because Gina's on a new show. Morena Baraka is on a new show. Sheriff Country. What's his name? Alan Tudyk is still doing Resident Alien. And he's also doing voice acting roles. And I don't know that Adam Baldwin is doing anything. And don't start with me on Adam Baldwin. I like Adam Baldwin. I don't know what he did on Twitter or X or what it was, but apparently he's not a very good person anymore. But I still like Adam Baldwin. May not be as a person, but he's a good actor. And then of course, Nolan. He's on The Rookie. So Puffy, I'm looking at it this way. I'm looking at something that's gonna be along the similar lines of what Critical Role has done with their campaign, whether it's the Vox Machina or whether it's the Mighty Nine. That's how I'm envisioning the artwork and the animation of the Firefly to go. Call me crazy, but that's what I would like to see. Call me even crazier. I think Amazon should pick this up. I don't think this should go to Netflix. I think Amazon should pick this up. I think Amazon's got the bigger budget for the animated programming. And I think with everything they've done with Critical Role and Vox Machina and the Mighty Nine, I think there will be a lot there that the Firefly cast and crew can get guest stars in. Thank you for calling me crazy, Crimson. I like that. But and how would I interact with the other characters? Well, if you know Captain Bones' outfit, he's a brown coat. He wears a brown coat, so he is a brown coat. But he's a space pirate brown coat. You sure, Mal? I could see you fighting Gina for Wash, but everybody wants Wash, and I am glad that they're bringing Wash back, even if it's animated, which means it's got to happen. If they don't canonize Serenity, what happens in the animated series has to happen, has to take place between the ending of season 1 of Firefly and the beginning of Serenity. Has to. The only thing, and here's what I'm going to say, the only thing is we lost Book. We lost Ron Glass few years ago. So we lost Preacher. But I'm sure that Alan Tudyk has enough talent in his vocal range that he could be the voice of Book. That's what you heard, Jim? Yeah, I think so. Dropped pics of your brown coats beanie in the Discord. You can do a lot of cool stuff with anime. Exactly. We might get a new Saint Jane episode. So, Puffy Cheeto, I hope that answered your question. I hope you got a great answer out of it. And I know you sent this 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. But, with everything that happened this past weekend, I think that's a great answer. I think that's a great answer. Well, you missed the answer, Kirk. Answer was Firefly. Moving right along, our question 3 also comes from Kirk. Now, I had a lot of time to research this, Kirk. Your question: something playing a starring role in some of today's woes is insurance. Largely insurance for oil tankers waiting to travel through a certain war zone. What is the first record of the concept of insurance? And was it to stop grog from making fire too close to cave? I read this. I shit you not, Kirk. I read this question word for word to Teeny. And Teeny Monster did not hesitate and said, "That's a Kirk question, isn't it?" You have a way with your words, sir. Now let me elaborate. The earliest recorded forms of insurance date back to ancient Mesopotamia and Babylon. Practice like bottomry and risk sharing appear about 2000 to 1750 BCE. Not a stop grog from making fire rule. These were commercial arrangements to spread maritime and loan risk long before modern policies. Bottomry contracts, Babylon, 2000 to 1750 BCE. Merchants could take loans secured on ship or cargo. If the ship was lost, the borrower did not have to repay, so the lender effectively charged extra interest to cover the risk. An early form of maritime insurance or marine insurance. Earlier Mesopotamian risk sharing. Some scholars have traced risk sharing customs in Mesopotamia back even further. References to loan and trade practices from 3000 to 2000 BCE. These are proto-insurance arrangements embedded in commercial law. And in Greek and Roman developments. By classical antiquity, there were maritime loans and mutual aid arrangements. Roman law recognized similar contracts, and burial societies paid members' funeral costs. Another early social insurance form. These milestones, they had milestones. Proto risk sharing Mesopotamia. Commercial loan and trade customs that spread loss. The Code of Hammurabi. It's Hammurabi, and when I was telling this to Teeny, I was making funnies. It's the Code of Harambe, but it's the Code of Hammurabi and bottomry. It's explicit bottomry style rules, loans tied to voyages. And in classical antiquity, the Greek, Roman maritime loans and burial societies. These were from the first millennium BCE, so about 1000 BCE, to the first century CE, from 1000 BCE to 1000 CE. CE is Common Era, and BCE is before Common Era. Practical takeaways from this. Insurance as a concept is ancient and commercial in origin. It grew from merchants and lenders wanting predictable outcomes for risky ventures, especially sea trade. It's not a primitive no fire near cave rule. That would be a safety regulation, not insurance. That would be OSHA. So if you want the no fire near cave rule, ask about OSHA. Insurance currently screwed me over upcoming surgery, lots of phone calls and fun. Yeah. Yeah, that far back, Kirk. Kevin hates insurance, but it's an instant question. It was an instant question. It was a great question. It was a great question. Just wait till next week. Next week, we have 3 awesome questions. 2 from Kirk and 1 from Puffy Cheeto. No, I'm sorry. 1 from Kirk. 1 from Joe? John? John Broham. He's got a question next week. No, he's got a question this week. So it is 2 questions from Kirk next week and 1 question from Puffy Cheeto. So, but hopefully we'll have a special guest on again next week. And hopefully it won't be buffering like it was two shows ago. Last show? 2 shows ago? So long ago I forgot. Because I'll be on my own internet, not wireless internet from an apartment complex that sucks. So, Kirk, I hope that was that was a answer for you. I hope you got something out of it. Please keep the questions coming. Always love your questions. Always love them. On to question 4. This one comes from Puffy Cheeto. There's a theme here tonight. John's the only one who's not Kirk or Puffy Cheeto. So, and it's just how it works out. But Puffy Cheeto asks, what has been some of the biggest inspirations for me in writing my book? And I'm assuming she's talking about my novel. It is a book. And that would be, I've never, the biggest inspirations for me writing my book are the fact that, 1, I've never come across a book that actually delved into Captain Flint's full history. Everybody starts off with Captain Flint already in the life of piracy. Nobody started off what led him to piracy. Nobody starts off with, well, Portobello Gold has the trip where him and Silver find the original treasure for Treasure Island. But there is a whole 29-year history from the time he was born to the time he found the gold. But here's the thing, Puffy Cheeto. That sweet, sweet novel we need more of, like Book Crack. Yes, I know you guys need more of it. However, I will be finishing the last 15 chapters while I'm home on leave. And then I've got to publish it. And if I give you guys more of it, full chapters more, it won't entice you guys to purchase it. Now, it's not going to be expensive. I'm not going to make it expensive, but it will cost me like anywhere between $200 and $500 to publish the novel. Let alone the money I have to buy or have to spend to get the ISBNs so I can sell it on places like Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Books A Million or something like that. And since I'm self-publishing it, it's going to be even longer. I can give snippets, but I think full chapters going forward, probably not. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. You always love hearing backstories of characters who have been established in different book series. I always want to read how they got to where they are, and that's my book. That's my book. I still haven't figured out a title for my novel. So that may come at the end of the novel, but who knows? You will 100% buy a paperback, hardback, and ebook of it no matter what. Well, guess what, Puffy Cheeto? You're on a list. You and Teeny are on a list. I can't tell you what list you're on, but you're on a list. A rogue publishing their book of secrets. Crazy. It's not crazy. It's just the way of the world right now. No, but you will, and you'll love it. Well, I don't know. You don't like pirate stories. You don't like pirate novels very much, so. I am using my own name as the author. I am not using a pen name. I am using my own name. But yeah, no, the list I have, there's about 5 people on this list so far who are going to get an ARC copy, a signed ARC copy. Well, copy is kind of redundant there. They'll be getting a signed ARC. And ARC is an advanced reader's copy, and that's used to build interest in the book. It is used for generating comments that I could put on the back of the book jacket or on the inside of the book jacket for people who have read the book, and so they could be part of it. I could read more chapters on the down low in Discord. Maybe. That would absolutely be wonderful, Yokai. So there is, if anybody is on the TikTok, there is an author on the TikTok. Her name is Kayla Robinson. She will be at Norseforged Gathering with her novels. She is an author. She is a published author. She's a self-published author. Her and I have been talking off and on. Well, when I was in her lives, we'd be talking off and on. And then I reached out to her in the Norseforged Gathering Discord, and we exchanged conversations in DMs in the Discord. So she's actually given me guidance on how to do all of this stuff, and she's a real good source of information. Go check her out, Kayla Robinson. I don't know at the moment. You know what? I can find out real quick what books she's written. Let's see. She's an indie author of fantasy and let's see, fantasy and romantic fantasy books. Literally, her webpage. Let's see if I can't do this. Let's see. You know what? I can. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go down to here, because then I can do this. This is her webpage. It's KaylaRobinsonAuthor.com. I will type that in the chat. You guys can go there. She does A witch with dark secrets, a vampire who had no idea what he stumbled into, a deal that changes the course of their lives forever, vampires, swords, sorcery, and smut. A trilogy you won't want to put down. She did Wickedly Immortal, Wretchedly Royal, and Woefully Damned. And that is the Wickedly Immortal series, then her Shadowed Embers series. And there's Kayla Robinson. She's an indie author of fantasy and romantic fantasy novels, but that's not all she does. Her life is chaotic and messy, but that's what makes it fun. Go follow Kayla Robinson. Go buy her book. Shout out that the Pirate Archaeologist has promoted her and everything. Kayla will be getting an ARC. An ARC is an advanced reader's copy. I think I said that already. But Kayla's getting an advanced reader's copy. Teeny's getting an advanced reader's copy. Puffy Cheeto's getting an advanced reader's copy. I've got a friend of mine, another archaeologist, or, well, she's supposed to be. But she's getting an advanced reader copy because she does library stuff. But yeah. That's that. That's Kayla Robinson. So please go check her out. Share some love. Join her Discord. It's great. But I appreciate the question, Puffy Cheeto. And I hope you got a good answer there. 3 weeks, I should be done with my book. So long as the pirate wife doesn't have anything for me to do. I've already told her I'm not doing anything, so. Because I'm a pirate who doesn't do anything. And I've still not been to Boston in the fall. With that being said, we're on to question 5. And question 5 comes from John. Hi, Rogue and chat. I was wondering your thoughts on the Pugilist class that they added to D&D Beyond. Do you think it's worth spending $15 for it? Or should it be cheaper? I was not versed in the Pugilist class until later this evening. I finally got around to looking it up. This is what I've determined. The Pugilist is a focused, strength-based, unarmed combat class that lends to the fantasy of a bare-knuckled bruiser. It centers on improved unarmed strikes, bonus action, punch options, and a resource, Moxie, that fuels short, powerful bursts and comeback mechanics. Its design gives it a distinct identity between monk and fighter, offering a flavorful subclass option, grappler, boxer, showman, etc. A new weapons and magic items, and NPC stat blocks that make it easy to slot into a campaign. The class's strengths are clear combat identity, satisfying melee flavor, and a good customization through subclasses and items. Its weaknesses are resource pacing. Moxie can make the class feel swingy across long adventuring days, and a few subclass features that some tables have flagged as potentially strong or awkward: grapple, prone combos, and bonus action synergies. So DMs may want to review or tweak certain options. For players who want a pure puncher, the Pugilist delivers mechanically and narratively, but it isn't strictly necessary if you're comfortable homebrewing similar effects or using monk fighter multiclassing to approximate the feel. As for the price, the D&D Beyond package bundles the updated class, multiple subclasses, items, and full character building integration for a one-time cost of about $14.99, $15. That's reasonable if you expect to play the class repeatedly and value the convenience of Beyond's tools, but it's a higher barrier for casual players who only want to try the concept. Because a free preview of the core class exists on DM's Guild, I'd recommend sampling that first. If you enjoy it and will use the class often, the Beyond purchase is worth it for the convenience and extra content. But if you only want a one-off or a budget conscience, D&D Beyond could reasonably offer deeper discounts or bundle deals to lower the entire cost for casual buyers. What was going? Crimson Honda. Yes, your question made it. VeggieTales reference in 2026. Yes. Look. Okay, we're off topic off the D&D pugilist right now, because Aqua Messiah, Kevin, I'm a pirate who doesn't do anything. I'm always asking where my hairbrush is, and the Song of the Cebu. Cebu. Best 3 VeggieTales songs out there. Don't care. Don't care the storylines. Don't care anything else. Those are the only 3 things from VeggieTales that I like. Cebu. So, but as for the pugilist, so to me, looking back at this, the only thing that I could say that the pugilist reminds me of, with the resource that fuels its short, powerful bursts, is Drunken Monk. And I don't even know that they have that in 5e anymore. Is Drunken Monk in 5e? The only cheeseburger song I know is the one in Paradise. But, with that being said, thank you for the question, Crimson Honda. That was a great question. It got me. It got back to our core of what this podcast is supposed to be. Not that I don't appreciate the archaeology questions. Believe me, I absolutely appreciate the archaeology questions. But sometimes, without me having my book spec here that says archaeology all over them, I can't answer some of those questions. So I have to do some more research. Drunken Master is not an official 5e that I know about. Thank you, Kevin. Way of the Drunken Master is a monk subclass. Player's Handbook. Okay. But they called it Drunken Master now. It used to be just Drunken Monk. And I guess I guess that's more politically correct. With that being said, thank you again for the question, Crimson Honda. It was a great question. Keep sending questions like this. I really do appreciate it. I don't think we have any more questions for the evening. Nope, question 6 is blank. Which means it is time, in a world full of madness, only one action hero may stand at a time. It is time for Deadly Dungeon. On tonight's Deadly Dungeon, we are going to revisit Dutch and Harry Callahan versus each other. We are going to revisit Alan Richson or Richterson or Reacher versus the Terminator T-800. We're going to examine Karen Poe versus Neo. And Angus MacGyver versus Maximus Decimus Meridius. And then it's the Battle of the Hoffs. Don't hassle the Hoff. It's not a good idea to hassle the Hoff. But we have Mitch Buchanan versus Michael Knight in a Battle of the Hoffs. And then finally, we have Trinity versus the transporter, Frank Martin. Shall we begin? Starting off, Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, a Special Forces team leader hardened by Black Ops missions and jungle warfare. He comes equipped with the M16A1 with an Underslug M203 grenade launcher, a Desert Eagle 1911 sidearm, combat knife, claymores, fragmentation grenades, camouflage tactical vest, and he has exceptional physical strength and endurance. He's got elite commando training. He's expert in ambush, traps, and jungle tactics. He's got a high pain tolerance. Stronger and more durable than most soldiers. He can improvise weapons and environmental advantages. He's got proven ability to fight a technologically superior human. His weaknesses, he's only got human durability. His ammo is finite. He's a large profile. Just look at Dutch. He's a large man. And he's not subtle in tight spaces. And he relies on terrain for maximum advantage. Next, we have Inspector Dirty Harry Callahan. A relentless, fearless, borderline unstoppable San Francisco detective with a hand cannon. And yes, the 44 Magnum, the Smith & Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum is a hand cannon, or was a hand cannon at the time. He's got a backup .38 revolver. He uses the occasional shotgun. He's got a police-issued knife. He always wears street clothes and a trench coat. He's got iron will and an intimidation factor. Always, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? That's actually the line. It's never, do you feel lucky, punk? The line is actually, do you feel lucky? You got to ask yourself one question. Did he fire 5 shots or 6 shots? And then you got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? He's exceptionally accurate with that 44 Magnum. He's got a fast draw with a revolver for a revolver shooter. He's got a high pain tolerance. He's ruthless, decisive, and fearless. He thrives in urban environments. And he's got that psychological intimidation. He's got limited ammo, 6 shots per reload. But he does have a fast reload kit. He's got no automatic weapons, no military training. No, he's not stealth oriented, and he's vulnerable in open or jungle terrain. Dutch's strategy is to use cover and movement to avoid Harry's Magnum. Open with the M203 grenades to force Harry out of position. Use traps and claymores and ambush angles. Close the distance and finish with a rifle or knife. He exploits Harry's tendency to stand his ground. Harry's strategy is to keep the fight at mid-range. Use the 44 to end the fight in 1 or 2 hits. Although, if Dutch is using that Desert Eagle 50, that 44 ain't gonna be squat. Harry's strategy is to stay mobile and unpredictable, force Dutch into a straight gunfight, and use intimidation to bait Dutch into overconfidence. I think Harry could do that. As for the 100 battle simulated results, with superior firepower, grenades, traps, and military tactics, Dutch wins 63% of the battles to Dirty Harry's 37%. The only thing that Dirty had going for him was the Magnum stopping power, his fast draw, and mid-range precision. So that's battle 1. That is battle 1. And you guys, we'll get to it. We'll get to it in the next slide. But we're going to go through all the battles with the simulation results before I give you the Discord results on them. If Reacher doesn't win, it's rigged. Why does he think everyone is named Punk? Clearly has mental issues. Looked it up. Drunken Master was in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and no, it wasn't always in there. Clint Eastwood were like a word with me. What? Look, the man with no name. Didn't the man with no name? We'll look at the we'll look at the bracket here. The man with no name moved forward, though. You guys aren't gonna like you guys aren't gonna like that matchup. The next battle is Jack Reacher, Alan Richardson, not Tom Cruise, versus the Terminator T-800. 1-on-1, only with their own canonical weapons and abilities. Jack Reacher, the mountain of a man with the brain of a forensic analyst and the instincts of a military predator. His weapons of choice are a .357 Magnum revolver or a 9mm pistol, varies by the situation. Combat knife, improvised weapons, pipes, rebar, car parts, furniture, your body, anything. Massive physical strength, military police training, tactical awareness, and pattern recognition. You know, it's not fair because Alan Richardson also played Hawk, and not Hawk from like Spencer for Hire Hawk, but Hawk like of Hawk and Dove in Titans. So he was a superhero. That being said, that on its own, not fair. He's got superhero powers. I don't believe that. It's just Reacher. His enormous physical power can break bones with casual strikes. Could you just imagine how casual a strike would have to be to break bone? Exceptional durability and pain tolerance. Brilliant tactical mind. Expert hand-to-hand combat. Reads opponents instantly. Improvises weapons with terrifying efficiency. He's still human. His bones break. These are his weaknesses. His bones still break. His organs still rupture. He's got no armor. He's got limited ranged firepower. He cannot withstand sustained gunfire or superhuman force. If caught in pure power contest with a machine, he loses. On to the T-800 Terminator, Model 101. A cybernetic infiltration unit. Living tissue over hyperalloy combat chassis. He's got a .45 long slide. He's got an Uzi 9mm. He's got arguably the best shotgun ever made, the SPAS 12. He's got an M16 with grenade launcher, depending on the mission. Near indestructible exoskeleton. Machine level targeting and reaction time. Obviously, he's a freaking robot. He's got superhero strength, or superhuman strength. He can punch through walls. Near invulnerable to small arms. He doesn't feel pain. He's got perfect aim. Yeah, because he's got a laser sight in his eye. He's unstoppable forward pressure. He can fight even when heavily damaged, although if you rupture his core, he blows up. So there's that. His weakness is he's slow compared to other Terminator models, like the T-1000 or the T-3000, the one in Genesis, or not Genesis, Christina Loken's version Terminator. He's got predictable movement patterns because he's a robot. He's vulnerable to high explosives. He can be outmaneuvered in tight spaces, and he requires line of sight for optimal targeting. Reacher always has comebacks, yes. And does Reacher even have an extensive list of snappy comebacks? Probably. Tactical overview. Reacher's strategy is to use cover to avoid the automatic fire, obviously. Aim for joints, eyes, and exposed mechanical components. Use environment to crush, trap, and drop heavy objects. Close the distance, only to disable weapons. Try to break or jam moving parts. Fight like he's dismantling a machine, not a man. T-800's strategy is to walk Reacher down. Use automatic weapons to suppress and kill. Overpower him in melee instantly. Tank all pistol rounds. Use relentless pressure to deny Reacher any tactical breathing room. I told you guys ain't gonna like this. I don't like it either. But the simulation states that due to the near invulnerability, superior firepower, unstoppable melee strength, the T-800 Terminator wins out 82% of the time. Jack Reacher, 18% of the time with environmental traps, joint damage, improvised explosives, and precision targeting. But that's the simulation. And we know we don't use the simulation for things that go bump in the night. On to our next pairing. And Puffy Cheeto, I am sorry that the Discord did not choose your man. It is only Cameron Poe though, so just remember it's only Cameron Poe. It's not Memphis Reigns. It's not what's his name in freaking National Treasure. It's just Cameron Poe. But Cameron Poe versus Neo. Hold on a minute. I gotta get down to it. There you go. This simulation assumes Matrix enabled Neo, because that's the only version that makes sense in a Deadly Dungeon arena. Benjamin Gates, thank you, Aquatic. Thank you. So here's our competitors. Cameron Poe, former U.S. Ranger, polite Southern gentleman, built like a battering ram. He's got Ranger level, hand-to-hand combat training, high pain tolerance, stronger than most trained fighters, tactical instincts, improvised weapons mastery, willpower bordering on the mythic, and a prisoner. He's still human. His weakness, he's still human. He's got no ranged weapons in most canonical scenarios, vulnerable to speed and distance control, and cannot counter superhuman abilities. Thomas Anderson, Neo, the One, the Anomaly, the man who rewrites physics. I know Kung Fu. His superhuman speed and strength, bullet time perception, flight, telekinesis, bullet stopping, reality manipulation inside the Matrix, instant martial arts uploads. I know Kung Fu. His weaknesses: he requires the Matrix environment for full power. He can be hit before he reads the opponent, and he's occasionally overconfident. I know Kung Fu. Poe's strategy is to close the distance immediately. Use brute force and grappling to disrupt Neo's stance. Attack before Neo fully engages bullet time. Use the environment as improvised weapons, and try to overwhelm with raw aggression. Neo's strategy is to maintain distance. Use bullet time to avoid all strikes. Disable Poe with telekinetic force. End the fight with superhuman strikes or code-breaking attacks. Fly or reposition to deny Poe any advantage. And Puffy Cheeto says, I deny the results and will live in ignorance. No matter what role he plays, I will always love him and vote for him. Put Bunny back in the box. And look at Neo's coat. It's practically a cape. We all know no capes. Should be Ted Theodore Logan, not Neo. Would it be a close? I like that. I like that. Bill and Ted's reference. Nice. In the 100 simulated battle run, with bullet time, telekinesis, flight, and reality manipulation, while Neo's not perfect, he does win 98% of the time. That other 2% of the time, Cameron Poe wins because of perfect ambushes before Neo activates full awareness. That is it. Neo wins 98-2. Cyberpunk Jesus Superman. I love it. I love it. Onwards and upwards. Our next battle. The wildest cross-era dungeon pairing yet. The ultimate improvisational pacifist engineer versus Rome's most lethal battlefield commander. One-on-one. Canonical abilities. MacGyver gets no guns, but full access to improvised tools. Maximus gets standard gladiator gear. This is Angus MacGyver, the Richard Dean Anderson version of Angus MacGyver, versus Maximus Decimus Meridius. Those last two are because you're protecting him with your love. Nice. Angus MacGyver, a genius-level improviser who can turn a paperclip, duct tape, and a shoelace into a functioning device. Extreme intelligence and problem-solving, improvised weapons, traps, and chemical reactions. He's calm under pressure. Creative use of the environment. He's got non-lethal combat skills. He's exceptionally agile. He's got exceptional agility and evasion. He does have seer training. He avoids killing. Always avoids killing. He doesn't wear armor. He's no formal lethal combat training. He's vulnerable in direct melee. And he needs time and materials to improvise. Those are his weaknesses. Whereas Maximus Decimus Meridius, General of the Felix Legions, gladiator, battlefield tactician, a man who kills with efficiency and purpose. His strengths, he's elite melee combat skill, sword, shield, spear, and armor proficient, high pain tolerance, tactical battlefield instincts, physically powerful and relentless, comfortable killing decisively. This man is a brutal tank. This man is your ultimate fighter in D&D. He's got limited ranged options. He's predictable. He's got predictable forward aggression, can be manipulated by terrain, and he's got no understanding of modern tech. So basically, you're a barbarian fighter. The tactical overview. MacGyver's strategy is to avoid direct combat on all costs. Frickin' rogue. Use the environment to create traps, snares, and chemical distractions. Blind, disorient, or immobilize Maximus. Use improvised explosives or smoke to control distance. And he wins by incapacitation, not killing. So he's a pacifist rogue. MacGyver's fine and all, but he's no MacGruber. Colonel Jack O'Neill verse. Well, we didn't put Jack O'Neill in the thing, or did we? Let me check. No. No. Jack O'Neill is not in our list of best action heroes. MacGyver was special forces, so he has lethal combat training. He just doesn't use the lethal stuff anymore. All of Richard Dean Anderson characters are the same. I wouldn't say that. Maximus' strategy, he closes the distance immediately. He uses his shield to block thrown objects. He overwhelms with sword and brute force. He pressures MacGyver before he can build anything. And he forces a melee where he dominates. Based off his superior melee skill, armor, and relentless pressure, Maximus Decimus Meridius wins in the battle simulation 62% of the time to MacGyver's 38%. Are you guys ready for this one? This next set. We've unleashed the Hasselhoff Civil War, the most glorious, self-referential dungeon match in history. 2 Hoff avatars enter, only 1 Hoff leaves. Mitch Buchanan from Baywatch and Michael Knight from Knight Rider. No kit, no Baywatch team, just the men themselves. Let's talk about Mitch Buchanan. He head lifeguard, Marine veteran, the most heroic man to ever run in slow motion, besides the $6 million man that we had earlier. He's got excellent swimming strength and water rescue specialist. He's strong, athletic, durable. He's trained in hand-to-hand combat. He's calm under pressure. He's got a high pain tolerance. Can improvise rescue tools as weapons. Fins, buoys, rope. He's like MacGyver if MacGyver was on a beach, surrounded by beautiful women. His weaknesses, I don't believe this. If he's a Marine veteran, he's got formal tactical combat training. But he doesn't have any ranged weapons currently. He relies heavily on his environment. He prefers rescue over violence. And he's vulnerable in confined spaces. I would like to nominate Kit as a third vote. Baywatch versus SpongeBob Hasselhoff. Maybe. Michael Knight. He's a Foundation for Law and Government Operative, or FLAG. He's a street smart, undercover, hand-to-hand specialist with talent for surviving impossible odds. If you guys don't know, before Michael Knight became Michael Knight, he was a undercover police detective. And this is all in the pilot episode of Knight Rider. And you never see his face. If you watch that episode to today, his face is blacked out. Like he's always in the shadow. You can hear his voice, but his face is always in the shadow. So we don't know what he looked like before he was shot in the face and had to be rebuilt. And by rebuilt, I mean rebuilt surgically by like a plastic surgeon, have his face reconstructed to look like Michael Knight Hasselhoff that we see for the rest of the series. He was a cop MP, yep. His strengths are skilled martial arts, trained in espionage, infiltration, and close quarters combat. Excellent reflexes and situational awareness. Physically strong and agile. Well, he wasn't situationally aware when he got shot in the face. And his reflexes weren't good when he got shot in the face. He's a tactical thinker. He's used to fighting armed criminals. He's got no weakness. He's got no superhuman abilities. He's got no kit support. He's vulnerable to grappling if overpowered. And he relies on mobility and technique. The strategies. Mitch uses strength advantage to grapple. Controls the fight with clinches and takedowns. He uses lifeguard tools as improvised weapons. He drags the fight towards the water if available. He wants to drown his opponent. He outlasts Michael with the endurance. Some of the best and worst luck imaginable. Are you talking about Michael? Absolutely. Michael's strategy is to stay mobile, strike fast, and avoid grapples. Use martial arts to target joints and leverage. Exploit Mitch's lack of formal combat training. But if Mitch was a Marine, he's got formal combat training. End the fight quickly before Mitch can overpower them. Who do you guys think wins the simulation battles? Well, I'll tell you. With superior martial arts abilities, tactical training, and mobility, Michael Knight wins 67% of the time to Mitch Buchanan's 33%. But here's the thing. As we learned earlier with who was it? As we learned earlier with Kurt Russell and Jack Burton and Snake Plissken, do we really lose? I mean, it is the Hoff. the Hoff moves forward either way. So, do we really lose by letting Michael Knight go forward? Oh, then you miss Yasmin Bleeth and Pamela Anderson. It's the only reason anybody watched Baywatch. It wasn't for the Hoff. It was for them. Kurt Russell is a national treasure. Well, so is Kevin Bacon. Anyway, moving on. Our last Deadly Dungeon battle for the evening before we get to the results of the Discord polls. And before we find out who's on next week's Deadly Dungeon. The most precision engineered assassin against a superhuman code-bending warrior. Clean, fast, violent, in two completely different styles. Trinity versus Frank Martin. Trinity gets full Matrix era feats. Frank gets his full transporter skill set, but no car. No car. Trinity, the Matrix elite operative, hacker, martial artist, gravity breaking assassin. Superhuman speed and agility. Bullet time perception. Master level martial arts. She knows kung fu too. Extreme acrobatics. Firearms proficient. Can dodge bullets at close range. And ruthless precision. However, she does require the Matrix environment for full power. Her human level durability is actually hit, and can be overwhelmed before she reads an opponent's rhythm. Kind of sounds like Neo, doesn't it? Because it's the Matrix. Frank Martin, the Transporter, the most disciplined, efficient, and lethal human martial artist in modern action cinema. Modern action cinema. Okay? I don't think the algorithm was taking into account John Wick. But we'll just go with it. Because I think Frank Martin's more efficient than John Wick. And probably more disciplined. Because Frank has rules. John doesn't have rules. Especially when you kill his dog and steal his car. And then try and kill him. But with that being said, Frank Martin is the master of multiple martial arts. He's a tactical genius in close quarters. He's got extreme precision and timing. His improvised weapon mastery. He's peak human speed and strength. Must be because his other movies, Crank and Crank 2, High Voltage. High pain tolerance. That's probably from Crank and Crank 2. Calm, analytical, and ruthless. His weaknesses. He's still human. He's got no bullet time. He's vulnerable to superhuman speed. And he needs proximity to improvise weaponry. John Wick is the best assassin. Them's fighting words. I'd give him the car. He'd still lose. Probably. Trinity's strategy is to use bullet time to dominate speed exchanges. Attack from angles where Frank cannot track. Use firearms to force movement. In the fight with acrobatic strikes or point-blank shots. Never allow a prolonged melee. Though, if you give Frank an oil bath and bicycle pedals attached to his shoes, I mean, maybe? Close distance. Frank's strategy is to close the distance instantly. Use a pure hand-to-hand fight. Use environment to create improvised weapons, or becoming a slick individual by the oil. Target Trinity's joints and balance. Try to overwhelm before she accelerates into bullet time. And unfortunately, based on bullet time, superhuman agility, and range dominance, Trinity wins out 85% of the time to Frank Martin's 15%. Frank only gets perfect ambushes, improvised weapons, and his elite hand-to-hand skill. That's it. Now, here's everything, and I hope you guys can read this. The Discord for Dutch, 57% to 43% for Harry. Jack Reacher, 86% to 14% for the TA100. Jack Reacher wins in the Discord. Neo wins 60% of the time in the Discord to Cameron Pose, 40%. Angus MacGyver, again, another 60-40 split. Angus MacGyver beats Maximus. Mitch Buchanan, 0%. Michael Knight, 100%. Our first ever completely 100% everybody voted for Michael Knight in the Discord. And finally, our second 100%. Trinity, 100% to Frank Martin, 0. And yes, Kevin, Oil Bath, if you watched the first Transporter, when they go to the bus depot and he gets surrounded by all the Asian guys, he gets knocked to the floor, rolls over, pulls a 55-gallon half drum of oil, covers himself in it, stands up, gets on a bicycle, breaks the bicycle pedals off the yoke or off the shafts, straps them to his feet because these are the racing style bike pedals, so they're metal and they've got the strap, so he jams his foot in the strap so he can actually walk on the now oil barren floor while he's coated in oil. So when the Asian people try and grapple with him, he just slips out of it. Oh, then you missed a great fight scene. Anyway, with that being said, our bracket looks like this. It is filling up quite nicely, and I know you guys can't see that. I will post a larger version of this bracket, or at least this bracket, in the Discord so you guys can click on it. However, I want to focus on one thing right here. Michael Knight did win. Mitch didn't win. Michael did. Michael won. But I want to focus on one thing. Because one of y'all said that Clint Eastwood has asked to have a word with me. Well, you're about to have a word because we're going to show you this. A upcoming battle. Jack Reacher versus the man with no name. So Clint's got another shot. Albeit a small one. But Clint's got another shot. So we can actually go here. So, upcoming battles. Randomizer hasn't chosen these yet. We're still in the first one, so. But Jason Bourne has moved forward. Dutch has moved forward. Trinity has moved forward. Flash has moved forward. Michael Knight has moved forward. And then on to the other side, we have Sarah O'Connor has moved forward. Buckaroo Banzai. Angus MacGyver. Snake Plissken and James Tiberius Kirk is a matchup. And then finally, Chuck Norris has moved forward. Now, The individuals that Chuck Norris will have to battle against include Laura Croft and Brian Mills, Ash Williams and Thomas Magnum, Martin Riggs and James Bond. So that will be an interesting battle setup. You just mean 100% to 0 was rough for Mitch? Well, you guys voted for it. You want Chuck to win it all? Well, we can't know that. We can't know that. But with that being said, we're going to go to our randomizer. You know, my wife said that too. She said after Chuck Norris died, this whole thing is null and void. Chuck wins it all. But you know what? We can't do that. And you guys have to vote. I mean, you guys vote who you want to vote. I'm not trying to sway your guys' vote, but it has to vote. And if you guys vote for Chuck, then it's Chuck. But honestly, you got to take everything into consideration. Who's Chuck fighting? But with that being said, we're going to roll another wheel of morality. Now, before I roll the wheel, do we want to do 2 battles or do we want to do 4 battles for next week to catch up on a couple weeks? Mind you, there's only 3 questions next week, but these are long questions and there'll be long answers. And next week, we're starting an hour early. Yokai Lover, I don't know that she's in the chat tonight. She was falling asleep. But I can't spin the wheel, Puffy Cheeto, until you tell me how many times you're spinning it. 2 times or 4 times. But we will be starting an hour earlier. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. I forgot I had said that. We are doing a double episode next week. It's 2 hours long. Kirk has 4 letters, 4 times, 27 times. Must be wild to do 4.3759. Why don't we do 3.15? Because we also missed Pi Day last week. And thank you, freaking Puffy Cheeto, for giving us Pi Day. 17 times we missed St. Patrick's Day. But the consensus says 4 battles. Okay. Wheel of Morality or Wheel of Mortality. Turn, turn, turn. Give us the next 2 fighters who we should burn. As you wish. It is Wesley versus the indomitable Henry Walton Jones Jr. And if you don't know who Henry Walton Jones Jr. is, then what are you doing on my channel? Henry Walton Jones Jr., Indiana Jones versus Wesley or the Dread Pirate Roberts. That is battle number 1. Can somebody put that in the chat? In the Discord? Make that poll. We remove them. Wheel of Morality or Wheel of Mortality. Turn, turn, turn. Give us the next 2 who we should burn. The Necronomicon is coming back. And this time with a boomstick. Ashley J. Williams with the boomstick, because you can't have Ash without the boomstick. And this one's more poignant also because dude's got cancer. He's got stage 4 cancer. But he's going against Thomas Magnum, Tom Selleck, and the mustache versus Ashley Williams and the boomstick. No, he's got both. He's got the boomstick for one hand and the chainsaw hand for the other. Except, Kevin, the moment Wesley starts flailing that sword around, Andy's just going to pull his revolver and shoot him like he did when he had dysentery in filming the movie. That's the only reason why he shot that guy, is because Harrison Ford had dysentery and was sick and couldn't film anymore, so he just pulled his weapon and shot him. You feel sorry for Thomas? I feel sorry for Thomas too. But he's got the magical, mystical powers of the mustache. So, our third battle next week. Wheel of Mortality. Turn, turn, turn. Who are the next two who we should burn? Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Alex Murphy versus Jack Traven. It is cop versus cop. It is RoboCop versus don't go under 55 mile an hour. RoboCop versus Speed. Otherwise known as Keanu Reeves versus Peter something. That ought to be a nice. That ought to be a good matchup. That'll be a great matchup. Though I would have liked to see Alex Murphy versus the T-800, but Alex Murphy RoboCop versus Jack Reacher. That'd be interesting. Peter Weller, thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Kirk. And finally, Wheel of Mortality. Turn, turn, turn. Who are the last two that we shall burn? Mad Max Rockintansky versus Jackie Chan. Well, you know, Aquatic Messiah, Detroit PD versus Beverly Hills, that kind of sounds like Axel Foley versus Axel Foley. And that's who's not in this damn thing. We didn't put Axel Foley in here. It's just Jackie Chan in general, like it was Chuck Norris in general. It's Jackie Chan. You know what? Let's cop versus cop. You know what do we got? What do we got for the results for this week? For this week, we got Wesley versus Henry Walton Jones Jr. That's an outlier. We got Ashley J. Williams versus Thomas Magnum. Now, Thomas Magnum, Special Forces, White Knight. He was the model for Robin's White Knight book series. Special Forces. Alex Murphy, cop. Jack Traven, cop. Mad Max, cop. Jackie Chan, cop. It doesn't have to be Jackie Chan Super Cop. We could do Jackie Chan Hong Kong police officer, police detective from Rush Hour. Peter Weller was also Buckaroo Banzai. Yes, he was. See, we have Peter Weller twice on this list. So, and technically Thomas Magnum worked with the cops because he was a private investigator. So I'm going to leave this one up to you guys in the Discord. Shoot me what the title of next week's episode should be based on this information, and I'll put the polls up. I'll put the polls up in the Discord as soon as we get done here. But that is it. That is all of the battles for next week. And we are at 10:34. Cop versus World. Okay. I got that. Cops versus the World. Nope. I got it. And you guys are going to absolutely love it. Because it honors, because the name of it, the title of next week's episode is going to honor the late, great Rob Reiner. And I'll give you guys the title now. Tonight, we're storming the castle. I like it. Storming the castle. With that being said, what is everybody's good thing of the week? My good thing of the week is I did a 14.5-hour trip in 14.5 hours and left Florida and came back home to Oklahoma. So I'm here. And the podcast is back on. That's a good thing of the week. I'm probably going to have a new big boss by the end of the month who's not going to do the job at all. Well, anyway. Because he's a big, giant diaper. Crimson Honda got a new phone. Have fun storming the castle. We will absolutely have fun storming the castle next week. Good thing of the week. I've been feeling better after I got medication from therapists. My mood stress has been much better since last week. That's good. And I hope the podcast, you know what? Let's go to live. Let's go to live scene. I hope the podcast coming back helps with everybody's stress, relaxation, and everything else. Kirk, I know you have a good thing of the week. What's your good thing of the week? Kevin's good thing of the week. You guys meds filled. We got the podcast back. Podcast is back. At least for 3 weeks. We'll see how it goes after 3 weeks. Buffy Cheeto's week was hectic. Monday will be surgery. Good vibes and prayers appreciated. We'll keep everyone posted to recovery. We off work for 2 weeks. So, surgery, good. Being off for 2 weeks, good. But surgery is also bad. Please be safe. Sending good vibes your way. Kirk's good thing of the week. He rescued a great many feral cats. Many more to go. Well, that's good. Yes, we all hope that Puffy Cheeto's surgery goes well. We would hate to lose her. Because she is a member of the council. Honorary. But still a member nonetheless. Full voting member. You did survive this week, and that does count. And I hope you got the memo. Next week will be the full 2-hour early start. Kirk must pay the pet pick price. Isn't that just a pet tax? And if somebody could reach out to Ron and Ruby, I haven't seen them But somebody should reach out to Ron and Ruby to find out how they're doing. Our favorite Canadians. Jim's dog got groomed today. It looks awesome. Nice. I'm going to just keep this going because I don't want to end it without getting everybody's good thing of the weekend. We should give homage to Chuck somehow next episode. We gave Chuck a little bit of homage at the beginning of the chat, or beginning of the podcast today. Literally too many cat rescues, and many of them were pretty rough looking. Some are now TNR'd, some recovering for potential adoption. Good thing of the week, it's over. Well, listen. You've got monsters running around your house, so I don't want to hear it. With that being said, everybody, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Like I said earlier, I do apologize for not being around for the last 3 weeks, but I had things going on with work, things going on with moving and everything else. We will be back next week, not same Bard time, 1 hour earlier, 9 Central. No, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, because I'm no longer in Eastern time zone. So, it will be right here next week. Join us as we storm the castle. With that, I wish you all a very, very good weekend, and I hope to see you all next week. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for enjoying this week's episode of Rogue Bard Advice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please send all questions to roguebardadvice@gmail.com or at the alternate location in the Discord under the tab Questions for Rogue Bard Advice. With that being said, I am your host, the Rogue Pirate Archaeologist, Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy, or sometimes just Chris. This has been Rogue Bard Advice, and I shall see you guys next week.